Hello, welcome. This is part 2 of my color along out of Mythographic Paradise by Fabianaattanasio for Mythographic of the Month Club. So we did these nice little tulips last time, and there's the color combos we used. And so this time I'm going to tackle the sky. Now I did already start it for one. This is a whole lot of tree branches and things to work around, and I didn't want to have to spend my whole hour or half hour here watching me struggle around these tree branches. So the color combo, if you are interested, is Periwinkle, Blue Lake, Blue Slate, and Cloud Blue. And I just work darkest to lightest, normal gradient, blending in between layers, all that good stuff. So now that I have that in, what I'm doing is just kind of coming back with my colors, kind of darkening everything up now that I know I have them where I want them. I'm erasing out where I got some blue on my trees. Now I did do my sky before my trees because it is easier to put brown over cloud blue than it is to put cloud blue over the brown if I get it on my sky. Brown does not like to erase out well. Blue and brown will make a greenish color. I have done it before. Lesson learned. So that is why my trees aren't done yet. And I wanted to knock my sky out of the way here. So this is my lightest blue slate before the cloud blue. Cloud blue is my lightest, but this is the lightest for this part. Also, they quit drawing the bushes or clouds, whatever you decide to make yours, in right here. So there's like this gap of unknown. So I just kind of tried to sort of do it freehand style with going around it. It didn't really turn out well, but okay, so hoping that will smooth out a little. Bring this up just a touch. Trying to make it even-ish across the paper here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to put some random lines and wiggles in. Nothing huge. I don't want one straight line across the paper at all. We are going light because we are going to blend it out, and I know it sounds silly to put all this work into the sky here and then blend it out, but we are going to blend it out some. So kind of just creating some cloud figures, whatever you want your clouds to look like. I'm not going to put a whole bunch in, but I'm going to put in enough that we get the idea of what they're supposed to be. Because if I just do one or two, then it just looks like I streaked my paper funny. That isn't what I want either. So again, no specific placement, just random. Using all three of the colors, dark and light. And then the cloud blue will kind of be our magic here. I need to find my little handheld sharpener. This is a Prismacolor handheld sharpener. And I have got so tiny with that little hand. I'm not wasting any of these pencils. Okay, I'm not going to blend them all the way out because I still want to see them. That's why we put them in. We just want them to look a little fluffier. Okay, when you have that how you think it looks nice, we're going to take our white. We're going to start at the top. We're going to go over the whole thing. And I am going to do a little bit of circular motions just to help kind of break up that There we go. Magic of white. So anywhere that looks harsh, if I could talk. These are also see-through, so I'm going to come back with a black pen and put my squares back in, but I really wanted my sky to look consistent, so I didn't want to leave it out behind these blades. So I colored over the blades, and then I will fix those with a black pen. White is also good for the tiny spaces if you missed it with your darker colors. Now I do have this dolphin right here that's a little hard to hide. I was going to put a cloud over him, but I don't know if I still want to do acrylic clouds. Maybe. So he's just kind of hanging for a minute until I find a way to hide him. That's the only bad thing about the hidden objects, is I'm like, you're right in a bad place to like put any dark colors. Just adding a little color where I feel like I missed it, touching up things. I'm trying not to go for too much of a stormy sky, so I'm not going to put too much dark in anywhere. But I do want to make sure I have blue everywhere. This part I will fix when I decide whether I want these to be bushes or clouds. I'm kind of leaning towards some bushes. My only struggle is I have a ton of green going on down here, so I don't want green bushes. But maybe I could do like an orange yellow to go with this, possibly. So I'm still thinking on that. Hadn't planned that far ahead. Originally, I was going to do them clouds, but I don't think they're clouds. I don't know. Okay, just adding a little more color where I feel like we've lost some or it's scratchy. And this is a process that you can go back and forth on forever, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just get it to where you're happy with it and go from there. So I am going to come down into this darkness now with a little bit of my white. Just kind of lighten that up too. I'll come back in with my eraser, clean up all my little trees here. Again, they don't have to be perfect. Brown covers blue pretty well. But we also don't want to get it to where it looks like we just threw colored on and called it good either. So. Okay, so that is going to be my sky for a minute. I still might come in and do some even just tiny acrylic clouds maybe. But I would like to get the rest of the page in first. So it's kind of a whip sky. It's sort of done, sort of not. Kind of thing. And the more I mess with it, I thought that stopped recording. Sorry for the silence. I was like Did it stop recording on me? Okay. So here I go, touching it up again, because every time I move, I see a spot. Okay, so down here, I'm going to do grass. And so I'm going to get very sharp pencils. And I'll use the handheld. So I'm going to use grass green, Prussian green, dark green, and basically any green I can get my hands on. And I am heavy-handed, so there's a chance I could break these tips fairly easily, but we're going to try it. So down here, I'm going to flick. And if you are not into patience and sticking with it, I would not attempt to do grass. So I'm kind of flicking one way, flicking another, because grass doesn't just go one way. Now some of these are a little confusing, which is why I was like, maybe I just want to color it in, but I don't want just that solid green here, because I feel like that'll look awful. So just kind of a little bit of everywhere. Very sharp tip, so if you start getting thick, non-delicate, I should say, grass lines, sharpen. And I know it looks weird now. Grass is one of those things where you kind of have to get a couple layers on before you can see the intended goal. And this is my dark green. I think I said that, but I don't remember. So, dark green. All the little sections you think are grass. Even if you can only get a couple little dashes in, do that. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my next one, which is going to be grass green to start with. There's going to be a few of these. Same thing. Not necessarily right over anywhere I've put the dark green. And as you're going, you will find spots you missed or want to add more. Pencils rolling around here. So again, even in these little gaps, just kind of want to add some. This side's a little trickier because I haven't colored my flowers in. Okay, then my in-between color, I'm going to go very light. So I'm going to go with a chartreuse or a spring green, anything very light. Light. So I'm using a spring green, and I don't want to rub my grass strokes out, so I am kind of flicking with the same direction of the grass here. And you can see right there, I forgot grass green or dark green. Just gonna kind of add some more to that, and then kind of add as needed as I go. Now we do have this weird football thing. I'm just gonna put grass strokes on it and hope that it blends in. I don't know that it will. It's a pretty ugly part of the paper there. Okay, stroke with the grass, with the grass. Now, I don't put my light down first and then do my strokes over it on this particular piece. Sometimes for grass I do, but not on this one, because I wanted to make sure that my greens weren't all going to blend and make one dark green patch down here down below. So again, just kind of anywhere I feel like I missed, just adding a couple. Make sure we get all the white out. So same direction as my grass. Anyways, what I was saying is, if I were to put this down and then when you see the areas I've added in, it changes the color of my green. So I really wanted my initial layer of this dark green and grass green to be really rich and vibrant so they'd show through. Okay, so this area over here is a little touch and go because I haven't colored it all in yet. This, I'm thinking, is a stem, so I'm quickly going to grab my Prussian and my apple and get that out of the way, so I quit dodging that at least. Now, the more strokes and flicks you put in an area, the thicker and your grass is going to be. The longer they are, the taller. And then you kind of have to decide how high you want to bring your grass up as well. So I'm putting an imaginary line about right under the tops of these flowers here. And if you want, I kind of feel like I need a little bit of this grass green in here. Thought with it being a little busy area, maybe not, but kind of. It looks weird. Normal grass is a lot easier just because it all goes one direction kind of thing. Now this is kind of a bad example too because it's not done, so it's not blended. It is merely just a whole bunch of pencil streaks with some shadows built in. But this is closer to the more realistic grass when you just have the larger sections with nothing to work around. This grass is a lot harder with all this to work around. So, still working on it. But that is sort of the look I'm going for. I just didn't want one harsh dark green around all my other green, basically, was what I was trying to break up. I start losing any of my flower stems, I will darken them. But I think I'm good there for the most part. So that is going to be that section. So here's our page so far. I know our sky is not done, trust the process. Neither is our grass, but definitely a WIP page. Questions, comments, anything like that, please let me know, and I hope to see you for part 3. It shouldn't take me as long to get up part 3 now because I finished all the other color alongs, so this is my only one.